All right. It's been a bit. Where are we? You know, how is the progress going? So I'm gonna go over, I wired up the switch. If you should probably watch the video before this, if you're not caught up to date on the issue I was having with the PCM. Still haven't figured it out yet. Don't know exactly what the issue is. The PATS has been verified to be not on the tune by the tuner themselves and the wiring guy. So yeah, don't really know what it is, but I've wired the switch in to operate the fuel pump. That's my solution, probably temporarily for now. It works, so I'm not. It's not a bad solution. It's just not. My goal was to make it so that, you know, a random stranger could jump in this car, turn it on like a normal, like a Mustang, and drive off. As you know, but it might be. We'll have to figure out how to get to that point. It was originally why I wanted to keep the PATS and all of that. I wanted it to not be a factor in it, but it is what it is. So I've wired in the switch to activate the fuel pump when the engine starts to run. I'll figure that out later. What I've also done is bleed the brakes. Let me go, and so I started, you know, obviously with the farthest away brake caliper, which is the right rear, got the fluid out. Now, as soon as I did that, all the fittings started to leak. Now, and I don't even know if this is normal practice. It doesn't say it in the manual to do it, but I went through, took all the fluid back out of the system, and undid every single fitting and every line and put Teflon tape on it. That's something that I used to do on motorcycles. I used to do the bleed screws. I used to do everything, every fitting on the brake system I would do with Teflon tape. And I don't know, it doesn't mention it in the book. And I know this is supposed to be your basic automotive knowledge, and you should be able to build this car. So if you don't know that, do it when you're hooking up your brake lines. I didn't do it, even though I knew better, because I figured I'm gonna build it to the manual spec and, you know, whatever. But yeah, anyway, I had to go back through, do it all. Then what ended up happening is I stripped one of the fittings and had to find a replacement fitting and whatever. But now I've got that done. So I've bled the system. Now, there's two circuits to this master cylinder here. There's bleed screws on the back of it. So make sure you bleed that. If you're using a Hydro Boost, make sure you bleed this is gonna bleed power steering fluid, but make sure you bleed that. Also, you might have to do it a couple times. It took me maybe 3 or 4 times around, but now the brakes feel good. The pedal feel feels good for stationary, for static. We'll see what it's like when I get it out there. The other thing that I ran into is I used an AFCO power steering cooler, that one right there. It is, ever since I hooked it up and put power steering fluid through it, it has leaked. So I kept tightening the fittings. It's got 2 fittings on it that come with it that allow you to hook it up to an AN6 line. I had to keep tightening those, and they still kept leaking. So I was like, screw this. I took it off, drained all the fluid out of it. Come to find out, whoever put it together at the factory didn't put the Teflon tape on that's on there the right correct direction in some of the fittings, and didn't put the tape all the way down to the bottom of the fitting. So like you see the Teflon tape exposed, but it's not even in the threads inside where it needs to be. So I redid it all. We'll see if it leaks. I just finished it and put, you know, the bad part about it is, or the annoying part about it is you lose all the fluid that you put in it. So I've had to top it off with fluid. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna fire it up. I think it's sounding pretty good now, but let me fire it up for you so that you can hear it. That easy. It turns on, flip the switch, it stays running, idles like it should. Eventually it'll drop an idle. I still have to, before I test drive it, I have to figure out a different air intake solution that maybe, you know, mounts it more in here instead of all the way out here so that the suspension doesn't hit it. You see there, idles. That's without side pipes on it. It's a part of me that just wants to not have side pipes on it, but you know. So that's where we stand. I still have to hook up the sending units for my gauges. I still have to drill out this steering knuckle because this can't go in from underneath. There's something weird about the angle. It doesn't want to meet up to it, so it's got to go in through the top. And I know a lot of people use the bump steer kit, but even if I were to use the bump steer kit, I still have to drill it out for the bump steer kit. So that's why I'm gonna do that now, and I'll probably end up using the bump steer kit because why not? It's better. What has been explained to me is that the knuckle on the 96, there's not a drop or a rise. I think it's a rise to it, something like that. For this tie rod to go into it, it's straight, as it's been explained to me. So, but I still gotta do that. And then, you know, finish up a bunch of stuff and keep going on through the manual, but that's going to be the next step. But that's the update for now.